Academy Award winner Jennifer Lawrence in an R-rated comedy. It's no hard feelings.
You gotta subscribe if you have not already, because we do all the high and low here at Breakfast All Day. This is the low in terms of like low culture. We enjoyed it somewhat, but yeah, it's definitely down and dirty here.
So when you say date him, do you mean date him or date him?
Yes.
Date him. Date him hard.
Okay. I'll date his brains out.
Jennifer Lawrence stars as a woman named Maddie who is struggling to survive as an Uber driver and a bartender in Montauk at the tip of Long Island, which used to be a charming little quaint coastal town and now has been overrun by Manhattanite assholes with too much money. And so she's struggling to hold on to the home that her late mother has left her. She can't pay the taxes on it. So she finds this Craigslist ad. This wealthy couple is looking for someone to date their son, Percy, who is 19 and is about to go to Princeton and is incredibly sheltered and afraid to talk to girls, afraid to leave his room, like is a talented musician, but won't play for anyone. And he's played by Andrew Barth Feldman. And so it's how she tries to seduce him. And it's very much a throwback to like raunchy 80s sex comedies. I keep seeing comparisons to like early Judd Apatow or early Farrelly Brothers. I think it goes earlier than that even in terms of
like My Tutor.
Yeah. Like
Private Lessons. Spring
Break and Class.
Yeah.
Early Rob Lowe roles. So because we're old enough to remember those.
That's
right.
They
seem so racy in their day. But this reminds me kind of that. It's really fun to watch Jennifer Lawrence going for it in this way. She does not get to do comedy very much. She is a producer on this besides starring in it. And it's a great use of a side of her talent that she does not tap into very often. I think even a movie like Silver Linings Playbook, or like Joy, those aren't straight up comedies. Those have a mix of stuff going on. So when she's using her physicality and just her A-list star wattage to be just sexy and funny and charming and like a little goofy too, it's really fun. When this thing is on, it is on. And when it dares to let her be brash and aggressive in the face of this kid who is so sweet and so awkward, like that friction's fun. And then it gets really sweet and sentimental and sappy, and it kind of falls apart. Like, I don't know that the emotion it seeks is earned, to use a word that we're all fond of around here. There is one great scene in which he plays the piano for her.
Yes.
Andrew Barth Feldman has this great musical theater background. He starred in Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway.
Oh, okay.
And so that's a scene that I think finds that balance of the raunchy and the sweet, given the song he is singing and the way he performs it. And it never really achieves that again. Once it crosses that threshold in that moment, it is just melodramatic. It is just heavy. And I don't know that it ever recovers from it. But I had fun for quite a while.
I was less put off by the sentimentality, not so much that I don't think that they had earned it by that point, because I think in a lot of ways they do. Just as much as this is not what I was promised. I was promised, rated R is like in a box in red letters on the poster. Like they're really trying to push this idea of like, remember sexy R-rated comedies? We used to make those, and this is going to be one. The shift is maybe a little more successful, but I think still disappointing in its own ways. And Dave made a really good observation, which is that the nudity in this movie is all for comedy. It's not ever sexual. Like
and it's also bad graphics. It's not, bad CGI.
Is it CGI?
There's no way that's actually her body.
I wasn't sure, to be honest. I couldn't tell. But in any event, whoever's body it is, there is this weird skittishness about sex in movies these days. And like a whole weird generation of Twitter people like, ew, no, sex is bad in movies, like, which I don't understand. But anyway, this movie, for all of its R-ratedness, saves its like booby card for a slapstick scene and not for any scene of actual intimacy. So, it is still sort of like kind of not fully committed to the bit that it is claiming to do. But Jennifer Lawrence is so good in this and so just committed to like putting it out on the line in terms of just being outrageous. And yeah, Andrew Barth Feldman is good. There's just really amazing supporting cast: Matthew Broderick, Laura Benanti,
even Moss-Bachrach is in it.
Ebon Moss-Bachrach from The Bear, Natalie Morales. So and I liked the sort of. It kind of reminded me of Bridesmaids in terms of the fact that like so much of the comedy stems from this like economic crisis. You have this woman who is just like desperate to, it's not even like she wants the money handed to her to pay her taxes. She just wants to earn the money by being an Uber driver during the summer, and they have garnished her car, which is to cover for the taxes. So now she can't pay the taxes. So it's this whole endless loop, and that's how she gets stuck in this thing in the first place.
Right, because they're going to pay her with a Buick. They're going to pay her with a car.
Yes,
she needs a car.
A Buick Regal.
To survive, right? Yeah, I thought they were really good together too. I thought that comedy worked really well, and there is a sweetness there too. But like the intense neediness and like the drama doesn't quite work for me at all. This is directed by Gene Stupnitsky, who previously did Good Boys. But yeah, I'm with you in that this sort of like doesn't have the courage of its convictions after a while, and just goes nicey nice and sweet.
Yeah. I'm a 6.8. I think it's fun when it works, and that's enough to get you through most of the movie, but it does sort of drop what it's trying to do at some point.
I will say a 6.
Okay.
So that's in theaters, so go check it out. Let us know what you think.